folks, HR Funk here. And if you've been following my videos lately, you remember just a few weeks ago I made a video review of this pistol. This is my Remington 1911 R1 Enhanced model. And if you're interested in the comments that I had to make regarding this pistol, just look back a few weeks of my videos and you'll find it. You can watch the full video review. One of the things you're going to notice if you watch that, or if you remember from before, is that I mentioned that I've had this pistol for several years and just now got around to reviewing it. That's not the case with the pistol that I'm going to be reviewing today. Today, what I have is a brand new Remington 1911 R1 Commander, Enhanced Commander that is, that I've owned for not quite 24 hours. So this review came very quickly after acquiring that pistol, and here it is. I've got to say I'm not a big fan of unboxing videos, but for this particular one it seemed appropriate since my pistol was still in the box this morning, right where I left it yesterday when I put it away. Remington has changed their box. They don't have the plastic hard case anymore. It's now just a cardboard box. Comes with all the necessary propaganda. And here it is, unveiled at last, my Enhanced 1911 R1 Commander. And we're going to take a feature-by-feature look at this pistol. And before it's all said and done, we're going to head out to the range and do some shooting with it. Now, if you're wondering what prompted me to add the Enhanced Commander to my inventory of firearms, one of the big things is just the way it feels. I was perusing gun shops a week or so ago, and I came across this, and I have to admit I was not aware that they were making an enhanced version of the Commander. I was actually looking for the Commander carry model when I came across one of these. And right off the shelf, it feels very, very good in my hand. It has the VZ grips, just like the full-size Enhanced 1911 R1. And you may remember from my previous video, I didn't really care for those on the full-size. In fact, I've switched it out for the Hogue rubber grips because I think they feel better on the full-size model. But on the Commander version, these grips feel very, very good, and I get a good full press on the grip safety, which is one of the reasons I changed the grips on the full size, is because sometimes, every once in a while when I'm shooting, I don't get a good grip on my grip safety, and all of a sudden I'll have problems firing the pistol. Doesn't happen very often, but once in a great while. But on the Enhanced Commander, I don't notice that at all. I have a very good purchase on the firearm. That grip safety is completely depressed, and I have no concerns whatsoever that I'm going to get out to the range and have problems engaging that grip safety when I'm shooting. Feature-wise, the Enhanced Commander has basically all the same enhancements as the full-size 1911 R1 Enhanced. Starting at the top and working our way down, we've got a fiber optic front sight, an elevation adjustable rear sight that's adjustable by means of that screw, and it's also drift adjustable for windage. We have a lowered and flared ejection port to help out with the functioning of the pistol. We do have front slide serrations. This is one of those things, I don't use these a lot. Some people love these, some people don't like them. I fall into the category where it doesn't make much difference to me one way or the other. But if you are one of the folks who likes to do a press check of your firearm by pulling back on the front of the slide, you can do that with this. There is a loaded chamber hole, for lack of a better term, drilled in the top of the barrel hood. On a really bright sunny day at the range, you might be shooting, or you might be able to look down at your pistol and know whether or not there's a casing in there. But under any other kind of lighting conditions, I think it would be very difficult, if not impossible, and in low light conditions it would be impossible to know if you had a loaded round in your chamber. This would probably be one of the places where in low light you would do that press check and actually use your finger to see if you can feel a casing in there. If you feel a casing, then you know it's in there. Obviously, if you're doing a press check, make sure your finger is not inside the trigger guard, because you will have to release the thumb safety in order to pull back the slide and do your press check. Another note about the slide serrations, notice those are very wide, aggressive grooves. And this is something that I've noticed in handling this pistol and with handling the full size. When you are cycling the slide by hand, it is easy to grasp those. Even if you're wearing gloves or anything else, you've got those nice wide serrations to be able to get a hold of and cycle that slide. Also, just like the full size, we have the Commander style skeletonized hammer. We have an extended grip safety, and you can see this extends all the way up around that hammer. It should effectively completely eliminate any possibility of slide bite or hammer bite when you're firing this particular pistol. Also, we have the extended, what's come to be known as a memory bump on the grip safety itself to again help make sure that we get a good full depression of that grip safety when we're shooting. I already mentioned the VZ grips, and again, they feel very good. There's also a checkered mainspring housing. It is a flat mainspring housing like the original 1911s. We don't have an arched mainspring housing like you would see with the 1911 A1s. Even so, this feels good, and I'm usually one of the people who, I'm one of the few who likes the arched mainspring housing and the short trigger. Pretty much everybody else on the planet likes the flat mainspring housing and the long trigger. This has the flat mainspring housing and not a real long trigger. I guess we'll call it a medium length trigger. But again, I really like the way this feels. It feels good in my hand. There is slight beveling to the magazine well. I'll try to get this in the light so you can see it. It's not super noticeable, but it is there somewhat to help with reloading. And the front strap of the pistol is grooved, again, to help with your grip and purchase of the firearm. And between the checkering on the mainspring housing, these aggressive VZ grips, and that grooved front strap, again, this pistol feels very good. It feels very locked into my grip. It doesn't feel like it's going anywhere when I shoot. And I'm looking forward to getting out on the range and shooting this pistol because I think it's going to feel very, very good when I'm shooting it. The R1 Enhanced has an extended thumb safety. It's not super long, but it is extended somewhat over what you would see with the typical GI safety. It is not an ambidextrous safety. So if you're a lefty or if you're someone that insists on having fully ambidextrous controls on your firearm, you're not going to get it from the factory with the R1 Enhanced. It does just have the right side safety. Standard GI slide stop. This is not extended in any way. If you're someone who recharges your chamber by pushing down on the slide stop and allowing it to go home, that could be something you want to be aware of. I'm not. I'm one of the people who cycles the slide in order to recharge the chamber, so I'm not concerned at all with that. In fact, it's kind of nice because this is one less thing to gouge into me when I'm putting this thing in a holster and carrying it close to my body. I mentioned the trigger a moment ago. You can see it is a lightened aluminum trigger. And this is the other thing. Along with the way this pistol feels, I wish I could hand this pistol to you and let you feel this trigger. This thing has the best factory 1911 trigger that I've ever felt. This is my fourth 1911, so I've got 4 of them that I own. I have also shot many, many others over the years, so I have some basis for that comparison. This feels really good. It is not to the level you would get with a high-dollar custom pistol. I'm sure those triggers are better, but for a trigger from the factory, this feels outstanding. Definitely the best of all the 1911s that I own. The R1 Enhanced has the standard magazine release. It's not extended. And it also features a match barrel and match bushing. Now, if you recall, when I shot the full-size Enhanced 1911 R1 out at the range, I put several bullets through the same hole. So there's outstanding accuracy potential with this match barrel and match bushing as it comes from Remington. And I'm looking forward to seeing if I get the same level of accuracy from my new Enhanced Commander. The finish on the Enhanced Commander is just a standard black oxide finish. I think it looks very good. It also comes in a stainless steel version. The stainless version is about $50 or $60 more, but I actually preferred the look of the blued version, or the black oxide version, to the look of the stainless. So that was another reason I went with this particular version of the Enhanced Commander. The Enhanced Commander, as it comes from Remington, is not a lightweight commander. It does weigh in at about 40 ounces, so it's a substantial pistol. But as always, that extra weight should help when it comes to managing the recoil of full power 45 ACP ammunition. Now, a lot of people will hear 40 ounces and think, oh my lord, that's way too heavy, I don't want to carry anything like that. What I've come to realize over the years is carrying a firearm has as much to do with the belt you select and the holster that you use as it does the actual weight of the pistol. And, again, as I mentioned a moment ago, added weight or added mass to the pistol does help with its controllability when firing full power defensive ammunition. So just because we're talking about a 40-ounce pistol, don't shy away from it without giving it a good look first. Both the Enhanced Commander and the standard 1911 R1 Enhanced model, the full size, come with 8-round Remington factory magazines. Normally when I'm carrying my 1911s for defensive purposes, I use Wilson Combat magazines, but these are perfectly fine for range use. And again, when we get out to the range here in a little bit, we'll see how well these function in the Enhanced Commander. The last thing I want to mention about Remington's Enhanced Commander is its value. As this pistol sat on the shelf, it was $679, which I thought was a pretty fair price when you consider that at one time, all of these enhancements, the sights, the grips, the match barrel, the match bushing, the grip safety, all of these things were items that you had to take a standard 1911 or a standard Commander and send it to a gunsmith and have these things added. So all of this comes in a package that I thought was pretty reasonably priced, and Remington backs it with a limited lifetime warranty. So if there are any problems with it, I'm going to get a hold of them, it's going to go back, and they can fix it. I know Remington has had some issues with their handguns lately, but the 1911s have been pretty good pistols. I think they're a pretty good value, and I think I've been talking about it way too much, so let's head to the range and do some shooting. And here we are at the range, ready to put Remington's new Enhanced Commander through its paces. One thing I did want to mention, before I came out here, I disassembled the pistol, and I'm glad I did. Remington uses what I believe is probably a metal preservative on the internal parts of the pistol, and it was very sticky. So I went ahead, I cleaned the pistol and properly lubed it just to make sure we give it a good shake when we're checking it for its functional reliability. In just a couple of minutes here, I'm going to start shooting. The main shooting that I'm going to be doing today is with just plain old 230 grain Winchester white box ammunition. And before it's all said and done, I do have a couple of different types of defensive ammunition that I'm going to run through the R1, or the Enhanced Commander rather, and check the reliability with that as well. So enough talking, let's start doing some shooting. My very first drill that I'm going to do is just a plain old slow fire accuracy drill to see what kind of accuracy we can expect out of the Enhanced Commander. Okay, I went ahead and ran through all 9 shots, 8 in the magazine and 1 that I had in the chamber. Most of my shots are right in here, about a 2-inch group. I managed to pull one kind of low down here, and I managed to pull one off to the side. This is basically just me. For the very first shots out of the pistol, not too upset about that. It is hitting a little bit high for me. I was aiming down in here and I'm hitting up here, so I'm going to have to give that rear sight an adjustment. Fortunately, it's pretty easily adjustable. And no functioning issues out of that first magazine. So we're going to keep on going. I'm going to switch to the other magazine and start to check it for reliability. And I'm going to start to pick up the pace of the shooting drills a little bit and see how the pistol runs. No problems at all there. Keeping them in the chest. The very last one was a failure drill. I did my 2 to the body, brought that last one up to the head. No problem at all. The pistol is very controllable. Again, with those grips and with the checkering on the mainspring housing and that trigger, just as I suspected, recoil management is not bad at all. Okay, and here we go again. This time I'm going to run 3 consecutive failure drills. I've already got 1 round chambered in the pistol, and I've got the 8-round magazine loaded. So do some quick math. That's 9 rounds, 3 failure drills, 3 3-shot drills. We'll see how this goes. And of course, I didn't realize until I got back to the camera that I didn't have it facing toward the targets that time. So you got a good view of me, but nothing of the targets. These are my shots from the failure drill to the body. These are the shots to the head. Again, no problems with that. This was my very last shot, and I tried to pull that off of there, but managed to stay inside. Okay, now that I've got the targets back in the picture again, this time I'm going to do the drill where I'm going to fire 1 shot at the target on the right, 3 shots at the target on the left, and then 2 more shots into the target on the right. So basically a drill for dealing with 2 hostile adversaries simultaneously. And I shot that drill from 5 yards. The rest of them I've been shooting from 7. And all of my shots on both targets were right in here. That was very controllable, very easy to fire that drill from 5 yards with this pistol. Okay folks, as you can see, the pistol is running fine. The performance is looking really good. The only thing I'm not real happy with is that initial accuracy test that I did. And I think part of the problem with that is the way I do my accuracy test. What I do is I fire 1 shot and then I use that shot as my point of aim for the next shot. I'm actually trying to put bullets through the same hole. With this pistol, since it was hitting a little bit high, when I fired the first shot and used that for the point of aim, the next shot, of course, was a little high. And I think that's why that group was kind of vertically stringing out there. It was me trying to compensate. What I'm going to do this time, I'm going to do another 5-shot accuracy drill, but I'm going to maintain the same point of aim. I'm not going to use the shot hole. I'm going to use something else and see if I can close in that group some, because I'm pretty sure this pistol is capable of better accuracy than we saw in that initial accuracy test. Okay, ignore this hole. This is left over from one of the failure drills earlier. All of my shots that time are in about maybe 1 3/4 inches, thereabouts. It looks a little longer because the paper tore up here, but the shot holes themselves are pretty good. So that's a little more of the kind of accuracy I'd be expecting out of this pistol. And of course I'm shooting this offhand, so there's a little bit of my own error in there as well, but not bad. I suppose we could call that one ragged hole, but well, you make your own mind up about that. Okay, this time I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to try to give you an up-close look at the Enhanced Commander as I'm shooting it. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, believe it or not, that's first 50 rounds out of the Enhanced Commander. All of the 230 grain ball ammunition, and I said before it was Winchester white box. Ball ammunition ran perfectly. I'm using the 2 factory magazines that came with the pistol. Not a single issue with that. So what I'm going to do now is switch over. I've got a little bit of defensive ammunition. I've got some Hornady XTP ammunition, and I've got some older 230 grain Federal Hydroshock ammo. So a couple of different bullet profiles, a couple of different types of hollow points. We're going to see how the Enhanced Commander likes those. And first up is the Hornady 185 grain XTP load. We're going to try this out and see how it cycles in Remington's Enhanced Commander. And the cycling was good, the accuracy was good, and there was noticeably less recoil with the 185 grain Hornady load than there was with the 230 grain Winchester ball. And next up, we've got the older 230 grain Federal Hydroshock. I've had this stuff for a long time, so I'm fairly certain it's going to function, but we'll see. Notice the difference in the bullet profile. The Hornady was very pointed, or had a very abrupt taper to the bullet. This is much more rounded, so I'm sure that if the Hornady ammunition feeds, this stuff is going to feed just fine. But let's see. And the Hydroshock ammo ran just fine out of the Enhanced Commander. Let's take a quick look at the accuracy from those 2 defensive loads. Okay, first up is the Hornady. And as you saw when I was shooting, I was not trying to take my time and place real precise shots. I was just trying to stay inside of this circle and kept them in there with no problem. I switched over to this circle for the last shot just for something different, but no problem whatsoever keeping those in there. This is that older Hydroshock ammunition, and that's pretty impressive accuracy, especially for the shot tempo that I was using when I was firing those out. So no issues with the accuracy whatsoever. No issues with the pistol all the way through the entire shooting evaluation. That makes about 60 rounds of ammunition through the pistol without any issues at all. So there it is, my review on Remington's 1911 R1 Commander Enhanced. I'm very happy with this pistol. I will tell you it's going to go into my carry rotation. Probably the only thing I'm going to do to it is swap out the sights for some sort of night sights. But I think this pistol performs well. It feels good. The trigger, as I mentioned before, is just tremendous. So there's a lot to like about this pistol, and there's a lot to like about it, especially for less than $700. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave those below. And until next time, good shooting. Bye-bye.